The Wild West, a land of vast plains, rugged mountains, and endless possibilities. It was a time of cowboys and outlaws, saloons and showdowns, where legends were forged in the crucible of an untamed frontier. The stories of this era continue to capture our imaginations, transporting us to a world of grit, adventure, and larger-than-life characters. Names like Wyatt Earp, Billy the Kid, and Jesse James echo through history, their exploits etched in the annals of the American West. But the Wild West was more than just shootouts at high noon and dusty trails. It was a melting pot of cultures, a place where people from all walks of life came to seek their fortunes, escape their pasts, or simply start anew. Among these pioneers were women who defied the conventions of their time, forging their own paths in a world dominated by men. They were saloon owners, homesteaders, and entrepreneurs, their stories as compelling and courageous as any gunfighter's tale. One such woman, often overshadowed by her more famous counterparts, was Mary Katherine Horony, better known as Big Nose Kate. Born in Hungary and raised in the bustling streets of New Orleans, Kate's life was a whirlwind of adventure, romance, and resilience. She navigated the treacherous landscape of the Wild West with remarkable strength and independence, becoming a legend in her own right. Join us as we delve into the captivating world of Big Nose Kate, a woman who challenged societal norms and left an indelible mark on the history of the Wild West. Her story is a testament to the spirit of adventure and the enduring power of the human will, reminding us that the Wild West was not just a man's world, but a place where women, too, could make their mark. When we think of the Wild West, images of gun-slinging cowboys and fierce Native American warriors often come to mind. These stereotypes, perpetuated by Hollywood and popular culture, have shaped our understanding of this era, often overshadowing the more nuanced realities of life on the frontier. The Wild West was undoubtedly a time of violence and hardship, but it was also a time of great opportunity and transformation. A place where societal rules were being rewritten and traditional boundaries challenged. Women in particular played a far more significant role in the Wild West than is often acknowledged. They were not merely passive bystanders or damsels in distress. They were active participants in shaping the social, economic, and cultural landscape of the frontier. They ran businesses, homesteaded land, and raised families amidst the challenges of a wild and unforgiving environment. Big Nose Kate's life exemplifies the resilience and determination of these frontier women. She was more than just Doc Holliday's lover, as history often remembers her. She was a businesswoman, a saloon owner, and a survivor who navigated the dangers of the Wild West with grit and determination. Her story challenges the romanticized image of the era, revealing the complexities and contradictions of life on the frontier. By moving beyond the stereotypes and delving deeper into the lives of individuals like Big Nose Kate, we gain a richer and more accurate understanding of the Wild West. Big Nose Kate was not a woman easily defined or categorized. She was a complex and contradictory figure, a woman of both strength and vulnerability, independence and loyalty. Born into a life of relative privilege in Hungary, she experienced both hardship and adventure, rising above the challenges she faced with remarkable resilience. Her story is not just a tale of the Wild West, but a universal narrative of human resilience, ambition, and the pursuit of freedom. It's a story that resonates with us today, reminding us of the power of the human spirit to overcome adversity and forge our own destinies. In a time when women were often relegated to the sidelines, Kate carved out her own path, defying societal expectations and living on her own terms. In the following chapters, we will delve deeper into the life and times of this extraordinary woman. We will explore her childhood in Hungary, her family's immigration to America, and her journey to the untamed frontier of the Wild West. We will examine her relationship with Doc Holliday, a notorious gambler and gunfighter, and explore the dynamics of their passionate and tumultuous partnership. Through Kate's story, we will gain a deeper understanding of the Wild West, not just as a place of gunfights and saloons, but as a complex and dynamic society in the throes of transformation. Mary Katherine Horony the woman who would become known as Big Nose Kate, entered the world in 1850 in Erzsébet, Hungary. Her birthplace, a town steeped in history and nestled along the banks of the Danube River, was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, a vast and complex realm on the cusp of significant change. Kate's early years were marked by the traditions and turmoil of this era, shaping her worldview and foreshadowing the adventurous spirit that would define her life. Her father, Dr. Michael Horony, was a respected physician, a man of science and intellect who instilled in his daughter a thirst for knowledge and a strong sense of independence. Her mother, the former Katherine Horony-Cummings, brought to the family a deep well of resilience and resourcefulness, qualities that would prove invaluable as they navigated the challenges that lay ahead. Together they provided Kate with a solid foundation, nurturing her intelligence and fostering a sense of curiosity about the world beyond their small town. The Horony family, while not wealthy, enjoyed a comfortable life among the Hungarian gentry. Kate received a proper education, learning French and German in addition to her native Hungarian, and developing a love for literature and music. She was a bright and inquisitive child, eager to learn and explore the world around her. However, the winds of change were blowing across Europe, and the Horony family would soon find themselves caught up in the currents of history. The 1850s were turbulent times in Europe. Revolutions swept across the continent, challenging established powers and igniting hopes for greater freedom and opportunity. Hungary, long under Habsburg rule, rose up in a bid for independence, only to be crushed by Austrian forces. In the aftermath of this failed revolution, many Hungarians, disillusioned and seeking a fresh start, set their sights on a land that promised liberty and the chance to build a better future. America. The Horony family, caught in the crosscurrents of these events, made the difficult decision to leave their homeland behind. Dr. Horony, like many of his countrymen, believed that America offered greater opportunities for his family, a place where his medical skills would be valued and his children could thrive. It was a decision fraught with uncertainty, a leap of faith into the unknown, but one driven by the hope for a brighter future. In 1854, when Kate was just 4 years old, the Horony family embarked on the arduous journey across the Atlantic. They sailed aboard a crowded ship, joining thousands of other immigrants seeking refuge and opportunity in the New World. The voyage was long and arduous, filled with seasickness, cramped quarters, and the constant fear of disease. For young Kate, it was both an adventure and a trial by fire, a formative experience that would leave an indelible mark on her character. After weeks at sea, the ship carrying the Horony family finally reached the shores of America. They disembarked in New Orleans, Louisiana, a bustling port city teeming with life and a melting pot of cultures unlike anything they had ever experienced. The air was thick with humidity, the streets a cacophony of languages and scents, a far cry from the ordered world they had left behind in Hungary. New Orleans in the 1850s was a city on the rise, a major center of trade and commerce, but also a place marked by poverty, disease, and social unrest. The influx of immigrants, while bringing new energy and ideas, also strained the city's resources and exacerbated tensions between different ethnic and social groups. The Horony family, like many newcomers, faced the challenges of adapting to a new language, finding work and building a life in a foreign land. Despite the difficulties, the Horonys persevered. Dr. Horony, with his medical skills, was able to establish a practice, providing for his family and earning the respect of his community. Kate, growing up in this vibrant and diverse environment, quickly absorbed the sights, sounds, and rhythms of her adopted city. She learned to speak English with a slight drawl, her Hungarian accent fading with time, and embraced the cultural blend that made New Orleans unique. As Kate blossomed into a young woman, the bustling streets of New Orleans became her classroom. She witnessed both the elegance of the French Quarter and the grit of the waterfront, the opulence of wealthy planters and the poverty of Irish immigrants. This exposure to the complexities of urban life, the stark contrasts and the ever-present struggle for survival, left an indelible mark on her character, nurturing a sense of independence and a willingness to challenge societal norms. Her father's medical practice brought her into contact with people from all walks of life, exposing her to the fragility of human existence and the importance of compassion. She learned to navigate the social strata of New Orleans, moving with ease among the city's diverse communities, her innate intelligence and quick wit serving her well. Yet beneath her charming exterior lay a steely resolve, a determination to forge her own path in a world that often sought to limit women's choices. The seeds of her independent spirit were sown during these formative years. She witnessed firsthand the limited opportunities available to women in 19th century America, the societal expectations that confined them to domestic roles and subservience to men. Kate, with her thirst for adventure and her innate sense of self-worth, chafed against these constraints, yearning for a life less ordinary, a life where she could live on her own terms. By the late 1860s, the allure of the American West, with its promise of adventure and boundless opportunity, had taken root in Kate's imagination. She devoured tales of gold rushes, wagon trains, and frontier life, her spirit yearning for the wide-open spaces and the untamed spirit of the frontier. New Orleans, for all its vibrancy, suddenly felt confining, its social strictures stifling her adventurous spirit. The West, in Kate's mind, represented a land of possibility, a place where she could reinvent herself, shed the constraints of her upbringing, and forge a destiny on her own terms. The stories she heard spoke of strong, independent women who carved out their own niches in this untamed land. Women who ran saloons, homesteaded land, and lived life by their own rules. These tales resonated deeply with Kate, fueling her desire to break free from the expectations of her time. The catalyst for Kate's westward journey came in the form of tragedy. In 1868, a yellow fever epidemic swept through New Orleans, leaving a trail of death and devastation in its wake. Among its victims were Kate's parents, their lives cut short by the relentless disease. Orphaned and alone, Kate found herself at a crossroads, her future uncertain, her ties to New Orleans irrevocably broken. With a heavy heart but a resolute spirit, Kate decided to heed the call of the West. She packed her few belongings, bid farewell to the city that had been her home for nearly 2 decades, and boarded a steamboat bound for the bustling port of St. Louis, the gateway to the frontier. It was a journey into the unknown, fraught with risk and uncertainty. But for Kate, it represented a chance for a new beginning, a chance to forge her own path in the Wild West. The journey from St. Louis to the Arizona Territory was not for the faint of heart. Kate joined a wagon train, a motley crew of pioneers, adventurers, and families seeking their fortunes in the West. The journey was long and arduous, fraught with danger and hardship. The wagon train snaked its way across the Great Plains, facing scorching sun, torrential rain, and the constant threat of disease. The travelers contended with muddy trails, swollen rivers, and the occasional stampede. They endured sleepless nights under the vast expanse of the starry sky, the howling of wolves a constant reminder of the wilderness that surrounded them. Food was scarce, water even more so, and the threat of attacks by Native American tribes defending their ancestral lands from encroachment added another layer of peril to the journey. Throughout this ordeal, Kate's resilience and determination shone through. She learned to ride astride like a man, her skills with a rifle improving with each passing day. She shared her meager rations with those in need, offering a kind word and a helping hand to those struggling to keep up. Her spirit, far from being broken by the hardships she faced, seemed to grow stronger with each challenge, her resolve hardening like steel tempered in a fire. Despite the dangers and the hardships, Kate found moments of beauty and camaraderie amidst the harsh realities of the trail. She marveled at the vastness of the prairie, the way the sky met the horizon in an endless expanse of blue. She shared stories and laughter around the campfire, forging bonds of friendship with her fellow travelers. And as the wagon train slowly made its way westward, she felt a growing sense of anticipation, a certainty that she was moving towards her destiny. After months on the trail, weary but undeterred, Kate and her fellow travelers finally reached their destination, the Arizona Territory. This rugged land, with its towering mesas, cacti-studded deserts and sprawling cattle ranches, was a world away from the refined streets of New Orleans. The air was dry and dusty, the sun beat down with relentless intensity, and the towns, hastily erected to serve the needs of miners and ranchers, were rough-hewn and boisterous. Arizona in the 1870s was a land on the edge of civilization, a place where fortunes were made and lost overnight, where the rule of law was often overshadowed by the rule of the gun, and where life was lived with a raw intensity that both exhilarated and terrified. Yet for Kate, it was a land of opportunity, a place where she could reinvent herself and create a new life, free from the constraints of her past. She quickly adapted to the rhythms of frontier life. She learned to ride a horse with the confidence of a seasoned cowhand, her aim with a pistol becoming as steady as her nerve. She embraced the casual dress code of the frontier, trading her petticoats and corsets for denim trousers and a Stetson hat, her attire reflecting her newfound independence. The Arizona territory was a melting pot of cultures, drawing adventurers, entrepreneurs, and outlaws from across the globe. Kate, with her linguistic skills and her ability to adapt to any situation, thrived in this environment. She found work as a translator, a saloon singer, and even a card dealer, her quick wit and sharp tongue serving her well in the rough-and-tumble world of frontier gambling dens. Life in the Arizona territory was a far cry from the elegance and refinement of Kate's upbringing. Saloons with their swinging doors and sawdust-covered floors became her new social hubs, places where miners, cowboys, and gamblers gathered to drink, gamble, and swap stories. The air was thick with the smell of whiskey, sweat, and cigar smoke, the sounds of laughter, arguments, and the occasional gunshot punctuating the din. In these rough-and-tumble establishments, Kate encountered a cast of characters as colorful as the yarns they spun. There were grizzled prospectors, their faces etched with the hardships of the trail, their eyes twinkling with the hope of striking it rich. There were cowboys, fresh off the range, their spurs jingling as they swaggered through the saloons, their thirst for whiskey and entertainment seemingly insatiable. And then there were the gamblers, men who lived by their wits and their luck, their faces often unreadable masks, their hands moving with a deftness that betrayed years of practice. Kate, with her sharp mind and her ability to read people, navigated this world with surprising ease. She learned to hold her own at the poker table, her poker face as good as any man's, her winnings supplementing her income and earning her the grudging respect of her fellow gamblers. She developed a taste for whiskey, her tolerance for the strong liquor rivaling that of the seasoned drinkers she encountered. And it was in one of these saloons, amidst the smoke, the laughter, and the clinking of glasses, that Kate's life would take an unexpected turn. She met a man, a gambler, and a gunfighter whose name would become forever linked with hers in the annals of Wild West history, John Henry Doc Holliday. Doc Holliday was a study in contrasts. A trained dentist from a respectable southern family, he had been exiled to the West by a combination of ill health and a penchant for gambling. He was plagued by tuberculosis, his gaunt frame racked by coughing fits, yet he possessed a steely gaze and a hair-trigger temper that belied his frail appearance. He was a skilled gambler, renowned for his prowess at cards and his deadly accuracy with a pistol, but he was also a man haunted by his demons, his life a tapestry of brilliance and self-destruction. Kate was drawn to Doc's intelligence and his air of quiet danger. He, in turn, was captivated by her beauty, her sharp wit, and her unwavering spirit. Their relationship was passionate and tumultuous, a whirlwind of love, jealousy, and shared adventures that mirrored the chaotic energy of the Wild West itself. They were two souls, both outsiders, in their own way, who found solace and companionship in each other's arms. Their romance played out against the backdrop of frontier life. They moved from town to town, following Doc's fortunes at the gambling tables and seeking to outrun his illness and his reputation. Kate, fiercely loyal and protective of Doc, stood by him through thick and thin, her strength and resilience a constant source of support in his darkest hours. Their relationship was not without its challenges. Doc's quick temper and his dependence on alcohol often led to heated arguments and public spats. Kate, no stranger to speaking her mind, gave as good as she got, their clashes becoming the stuff of local legend. Yet through it all, their love for each other remained, a flickering flame that refused to be extinguished, even in the face of adversity. As Doc's reputation as a gambler and a gunfighter grew, so too did the dangers they faced. Their lives became entangled with other notorious figures of the Wild West, men like Wyatt Earp and his brothers, lawmen who walked a fine line between upholding justice and resorting to the same methods as the outlaws they pursued. Kate found herself caught in the crossfire of this world of violence and vengeance. She witnessed firsthand the brutality of frontier justice, the quick draw of a pistol settling disputes with a finality that left no room for argument. She tended to Doc's wounds after gunfights, her medical knowledge gleaned from her father, proving invaluable in a world where doctors were scarce and gunshot wounds a common occurrence. One of the most infamous events in Wild West history, the gunfight at the OK Corral in Tombstone, Arizona, would forever cement Doc Holliday's legend and cast a long shadow over Kate's life. While she was not present at the shootout itself, the events leading up to it and its bloody aftermath left an indelible mark on her memory. The gunfight, a confrontation between the Earp brothers and their allies, including Doc Holliday and a group of outlaws known as the Cowboys, erupted from a long-simmering feud fueled by pride, greed, and a thirst for revenge. In the space of 30 seconds, 30 shots were fired, leaving 3 men dead and several others wounded. In the aftermath of the gunfight, Kate stood by Doc as he faced murder charges. She used her wits and her connections to help secure his release, her testimony proving crucial in swaying the court in his favor. The ordeal, while ultimately successful, took its toll on both of them, further cementing their bond and highlighting Kate's unwavering loyalty. Throughout their years together, Kate's strength and resilience never wavered. She faced down angry mobs, outwitted lawmen, and nursed Doc back to health countless times. She was more than just a lover. She was his confidant, his protector, and his partner in every sense of the word. Yet, despite her unwavering devotion, their relationship was ultimately doomed. Doc's health continued to deteriorate, his legendary temper exacerbated by his illness. Their arguments became more frequent, their periods of separation longer. Finally, in the late 1880s, they went their separate ways, their love story ending not with a bang but with a whimper of regret. Doc Holliday died in a Colorado sanitarium in 1887, his legend forever intertwined with the violence and romance of the Wild West. Kate, ever the survivor, lived on, her life a testament to the strength and resilience of the women who braved the frontier. Big Nose Kate was more than just a footnote in Doc Holliday's story. She was a force to be reckoned with in her own right. While their relationship thrust her into the spotlight, it was her own grit, determination, and entrepreneurial spirit that allowed her to thrive in the untamed environment of the Wild West. She refused to be defined solely by her association with a notorious gunfighter, carving out a path for herself that challenged the societal norms of the era. In an era where women were often relegated to domestic roles, Kate embraced a life of adventure and independence. She was a woman of many talents, her skills as varied as the landscape she traversed. She could ride a horse with the best of them, handle a firearm with deadly accuracy, and outwit her opponents at the card table. Her ability to adapt to any situation, to think on her feet and make the most of every opportunity served her well in the unpredictable world of the Wild West. One of Kate's most notable ventures was her ownership of a saloon. In a time when saloons were considered the domain of men, Kate's establishment was a testament to her business acumen and her ability to command respect in a male-dominated world. She ran a tight ship, her saloon known for its lively atmosphere, its strong drinks, and its fair gambling. Patrons, from rough-and-tumble miners to well-heeled businessmen, knew that Kate's word was law within her establishment. Kate's independent spirit extended beyond her business ventures. She was a vocal advocate for herself and for other women, challenging the double standards and societal constraints that sought to limit their opportunities. She refused to be silenced or intimidated, her quick wit and sharp tongue often disarming those who underestimated her. In a world where women were expected to be demure and submissive, Kate embraced her sexuality and refused to apologize for it. She had numerous relationships throughout her life, her romantic choices often defying convention. She refused to be defined by the men in her life, her own identity remaining strong and independent. Her defiance of societal norms extended to her personal style. She eschewed the restrictive fashions of the Victorian era, favoring clothing that allowed her to move freely and comfortably. Her signature Stetson hat and tailored trousers became symbols of her independent spirit, her attire reflecting her refusal to conform to the expectations of a society that sought to confine her. Kate's life was a testament to the power of resilience, adaptability, and the courage to challenge the status quo. For decades following her death in 1940, Big Nose Kate's story remained largely untold. Her contributions to the Wild West overshadowed by the legend of Doc Holliday and other iconic figures of the era. Her name, often relegated to footnotes in history books or mentioned in passing in tales of gunfights and saloons, failed to capture the complexity and richness of her life. The reasons for this historical oversight are multifaceted. The Wild West, as it has been romanticized and mythologized over the years, has often been portrayed as a predominantly male domain, a world of rugged individualism where women played secondary roles. The stories that have been passed down, often shaped by the biases of the time, have tended to focus on the exploits of lawmen, outlaws, and gunslingers, leaving the experiences of women like Kate largely unexplored. Furthermore, Kate's own unconventional lifestyle, her defiance of societal norms, and her relationships with men outside the bounds of traditional marriage may have made her a less palatable subject for historical accounts seeking to present a sanitized version of the past. Her story, with its complexities and contradictions, challenged the prevailing narratives of the Wild West, making it easier for historians to overlook her contributions. In recent decades, however, there has been a growing movement to reclaim the stories of women like Big Nose Kate, to acknowledge their contributions to the Wild West and to present a more nuanced and inclusive understanding of this pivotal period in American history. Historians, writers and filmmakers, inspired by a renewed interest in social history and the experiences of marginalized groups, have begun to delve deeper into the archives, unearthing long-forgotten accounts and piecing together a more complete picture of Kate's life. These efforts have shed new light on Kate's strength, resilience, and entrepreneurial spirit, revealing a woman who not only navigated the challenges of frontier life, but who thrived in a world that often sought to limit women's opportunities. Her story, once overshadowed, has emerged as a testament to the power of human resilience and the enduring allure of the Wild West. Books and documentaries have been dedicated to telling Kate's story, separating fact from fiction, and challenging the stereotypes that have long defined our understanding of women in the Wild West. These works have explored her childhood in Hungary, her family's immigration to America, her tumultuous relationship with Doc Holliday, and her successful business ventures, painting a portrait of a complex and compelling figure who defied easy categorization. Big Nose Kate's story is a testament to the enduring spirit of the American West. A reminder that history is often written in shades of grey, not just black and white. She was a woman who defied easy categorization, her life a complex tapestry woven from threads of adventure, romance, tragedy, and resilience. While her name might not be as instantly recognizable as Wyatt Earp's or Doc Holliday's, her impact on the Wild West is undeniable. Kate's story reminds us that the frontier was not solely a man's world. Women, often overlooked in historical accounts, played vital roles in shaping the social fabric of the West. They were entrepreneurs, homesteaders, entertainers, and yes, even outlaws. They faced the same dangers, endured the same hardships, and embraced the same spirit of adventure as their male counterparts. As we've journeyed through Kate's life, we've seen her evolve from a young immigrant girl navigating the bustling streets of New Orleans to a confident, independent woman carving out her own destiny in the untamed territories of Arizona. We've witnessed her strength and resilience in the face of adversity, her unwavering loyalty to those she loved, and her unwavering determination to live life on her own terms. Big Nose Kate's story serves as an invitation to delve deeper into the annals of the Wild West, to look beyond the familiar narratives and uncover the hidden stories of those who have been overlooked or forgotten. It's a call to recognize the diversity of experiences that shaped this era, to acknowledge the contributions of individuals from all walks of life, regardless of gender, race, or social standing. The Wild West, for all its romanticization, was a time of great upheaval and transformation. It was a melting pot of cultures, a place where societal norms were constantly being challenged and redefined. It was a time when the human spirit was tested and forged in the crucible of a raw and unforgiving land. By remembering individuals like Big Nose Kate, we keep the spirit of the West alive, not just as a historical period, but as a symbol of human resilience, adaptability, and the enduring pursuit of freedom. Their stories remind us that the past is never truly past, that it continues to shape our present and inspire our future. We encourage you to continue exploring the fascinating world of the Wild West, to seek out the untold stories, and to challenge the narratives that have shaped our understanding of this pivotal period in American history. The frontier may be long gone, but its spirit lives on in the hearts of those who dare to dream big and forge their own paths in the world.